the topic, that is communication. Communication. In our daily basis, we used to communicate with each other. Without communication, it's really difficult to survive in this entire world. So, communication, the word communication has been derived from a Latin word, that is communi. That means to share. To share what? Share information, idea, your feelings, your emotions, one to the other. It may be from one to another or to the mass. Mass in the sense it is public. Or if a teacher is teaching, for example, if a teacher is teaching to the class, that is known as communication. Interaction is going on. So in simple language, if we say what is the meaning of communication, that means to share information or to transfer information, feelings, emotions, etc. one to the other is known as communication. Okay, so communication is having different aspects and characteristics. Communication is somewhat that is omnipresent. There are some points that is omnipresent. What does it mean? It means that communication is present each and every part of the world. That is omnipresent. Universal. Universal. What does it mean? That means everywhere, each and every part of the world used to communicate. Let's see some examples of communication. So, little ants, they used to run or move from one place to other in a queue. So, they used to communicate. How they used to say that they are communicating? They used to move for a specific reason and they used to maintain discipline while they are moving from one place to another. This is a part of communication. For example, if a person is delivering some message, providing some speech, some information in television screen, that is also a way of mass media communication. Communication is a very continuous process. It is a continuous process. Why? Each and every time we used to communicate, we used to interact with each other, and this process goes on just continue. That's why it is a continuous process. Then there are three aspects of communication. What are they? Omnipresent, universal, and continuous process. Then comes types of communication. Let's see. Verbal means of communication and non-verbal means of communication. There are two ones. Verbal is that form that we used to do orally or in written format. In oral or in written format, that is verbal means of communication. For example, official letters. A student used to write an application to the teacher for any kind of leave. Then we can say that verbal means of communication comes under written format. Whereas orally teacher-student used to communicate. In family we used to communicate with our parents. Friends we used to communicate. That is verbal means of communication. Whereas non-verbal means of communication talks about gesture, posture, that is signals. What is that? Signals, that means for example, we are having Odissi dance in our culture. So the Odissi dancer used to provide some mudras, that is the sign, even if she or he used to speak nothing, but by showing some mudras, she or he can represent our used to observe the message, read the message, consider the message. Then after he used to provide a feedback. Then feedback takes place. That what happens? Sender used to provide message to the receiver. Receiver used to consider the message. Then again provides the message. Again sends a message in the form of feedback. And again message goes to the sender. And this is totally a cyclical process that takes place in this format. While encoding and decoding takes place. What encoding means? When in the language of computer, when sender used to provide some message, we all used to have some social media nowadays, like we used to have WhatsApp, Facebook and all that. So sender used to provide some message to another person or the receiver, while computer used to make it converted to the own language, that is encodes the message. Then again when receiver sends the feedback, then he decodes the message again in voice of in language of computer and provides the message to the sender. So in this process the entire communication takes place. That's why as before we have talked that communication is a continuous process. So here we can take the example that like this, the process used to get communicate and the process is a continuous process. Sender, receiver, feedback, again comes the message to sender, then receiver, then read. So this is a cyclical process and continuous process. Without that it is not possible to communicate. So this is all about communication. This is a basic idea we should understand regarding communication. What is communication? What are the types of communication and how communication takes place.